On this day in history, December 4th. In the Treaty of Paris, signed on December 4th, 1259, Kings Louis IX of France and Henry III of England reached a significant diplomatic agreement. The treaty required Henry to renounce his claims to French-controlled territories on the European continent, including the strategic region of Normandy. In exchange, Louis IX agreed to withdraw his support for English rebels, effectively reducing tensions between the two monarchies. On December 4th, 1623, a tragic event occurred in Edo, Japan, known as the Great Martyrdom of Edo. During this brutal incident, 50 Christians were executed for their religious beliefs in a demonstration of severe religious persecution. This event highlighted the intense religious tensions and suppression of Christian practices in Japan during the early 17th century. The Battle of Lund on December 4, 1676, is remembered as the bloodiest battle in Scandinavian history. This conflict was a significant military engagement during the Scanian War between Denmark, Norway, and Sweden. The battle resulted in immense casualties and had profound implications for the balance of power in the Scandinavian region. On December 4, 1791, the world witnessed the launch of The Observer, which would become the world's first Sunday newspaper. This pioneering publication marked a significant milestone in the history of journalism and print media. The Observer would go on to become a long-standing and influential newspaper in the United Kingdom. On December 4, 1804, the United States House of Representatives took a significant step in the judicial system by adopting articles of impeachment against Supreme Court Justice Samuel Chase. This action represented an important moment in the checks and balances of the American governmental system. The impeachment proceedings highlighted the potential accountability of federal judges to congressional oversight. During the American Civil War on December 4, 1864, a pivotal battle took place in Waynesboro, Georgia. Union cavalry forces successfully defeated Confederate cavalry in this engagement, which opened a crucial pathway for General Sherman's army to approach the coast. This battle was strategically important in the Union's campaign to weaken Confederate resistance and advance through the Southern territories. On December 4, 1906, Alpha Phi Alpha became the first intercollegiate Greek-lettered fraternity specifically established for African Americans. The fraternity was founded at Cornell University in Ithaca, New York. During a time of significant racial segregation and limited educational opportunities for Black students, this groundbreaking organization would go on to play a crucial role in supporting and empowering African American students in higher education. On December 4, 1918, U.S. President Woodrow Wilson made history by sailing to Europe for World War I peace talks. He became the first sitting U.S. president to travel to Europe, signaling the increasing global role of the United States in international diplomacy. Wilson's journey was a significant moment in American foreign policy and marked the country's emerging status as a world power. On December 4, 1943, during World War II, resistance leader Marshal Josip Broz Tito made a momentous declaration by proclaiming a provisional democratic Yugoslav government in exile. This action was a critical step in the resistance movement against Axis occupation in Yugoslavia. Tito's government in exile would play a crucial role in the eventual liberation and reconstruction of Yugoslavia. On the same day, on December 4, 1943, U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt made the decision to close down the Works Progress Administration, WPA. This move was prompted by the high levels of wartime employment in the United States, which reduced the need for the New Deal-era employment program. The closure of the WPA marked a significant transition in the American economic and labor landscape during World War II. On December 4, 1945, the United States Senate took a pivotal step in international cooperation by approving U.S. participation in the United Nations. The vote, with 65 senators in favor and 7 against, signaled America's commitment to post-war global diplomacy and collective security. This decision came shortly after the UN's establishment on October 24, 1945, and represented a new era of international collaboration. During the Korean War on December 4, 1950, Jesse L. Brown, the first African-American naval aviator, was killed in action during the Battle of Chosin Reservoir. Brown's sacrifice was a significant moment in both military history and the struggle for racial integration in the U.S. Armed Forces. His heroism and dedication paved the way for future generations of African American service members. On December 4, 1950, Associated Press photographer Max Disfor captured a powerful image of hundreds of Korean refugees crossing a downed bridge in the Taedong River. This photograph would go on to win the Pulitzer Prize on December 4, 1951, titled Flight of Refugees Across Wrecked Bridge in Korea. Disfor's image became an iconic representation of the human cost and chaos of the Korean War. On December 4, 1956, music history was made when the legendary Million Dollar Quartet came together at Sun Studio. The group, consisting of Elvis Presley, Jerry Lee Lewis, Carl Perkins, and Johnny Cash, gathered for the first and last time. This unique gathering brought together some of the most influential musicians of the rock and roll era. On December 4, 1965, the Gemini 7 spacecraft was launched with crew members Frank Borman and Jim Lovell. The mission was significant as the Gemini 7 spacecraft served as the passive target for the first crewed space rendezvous, performed by the crew of Gemini 6A. This mission was a crucial step in NASA's space exploration program and advanced understanding of orbital mechanics. On December 4, 1978, following the tragic murder of Mayor George Moscone, Dianne Feinstein made history by becoming San Francisco's first female mayor. Her ascension to the role came during a tumultuous period in the city's political landscape. Feinstein would go on to have a distinguished political career, later becoming a long-serving U.S. senator. On December 4, 1982, the People's Republic of China adopted its current constitution. This document represented a significant milestone in the country's political and legal development. The Constitution outlined the fundamental principles of governance and the rights of citizens in the world's most populous country. On December 4, 1983, U.S. Navy aircraft from the USS John F. Kennedy and USS Independence launched a military operation against Syrian missile sites in Lebanon. The attack was in response to an F-14 being fired upon by an SA-7 missile. During the operation, one A-6 Intruder and A-7 Corsair were shot down, resulting in the death of one American pilot, the rescue of another, and the capture of a third. On December 4, 1984, during the Sri Lankan Civil War, a tragic event occurred when Sri Lankan army soldiers killed between 107 and 150 civilians in Mannar. This incident was part of the broader conflict that devastated the island nation for decades. Such atrocities highlighted the brutal nature of the Civil War and its devastating impact on civilian populations. On December 4, 1991, Terry A. Anderson was released after 7 years of captivity as a hostage in Beirut. He was the last and longest-held American hostage in Lebanon, marking the end of a traumatic period for him and his family. Anderson's ordeal became a symbol of the complex and dangerous political landscape in the Middle East during that time. On December 4, 1991, Pan American World Airways, Pan Am, ceased its operations after 64 years. This marked the end of one of the most iconic and pioneering airlines in global aviation history. The airline's closure represented significant changes in the commercial aviation industry. On December 4, 1998, the Unity module, the second module of the International Space Station, was launched. This milestone was crucial in the ongoing construction and development of the International Space Station. The module represented international cooperation in space exploration and scientific research. On December 4, 2005, tens of thousands of people in Hong Kong participated in a massive protest for democracy. The demonstrators called on the government to allow universal and equal suffrage. This protest was part of the ongoing struggle for democratic reforms in Hong Kong. On December 4, 2017, the Thomas Fire began near Santa Paula in California, eventually becoming the largest wildfire in modern California history. The fire burned an extensive area of 440 square miles across Ventura and Santa Barbara counties. This catastrophic event highlighted the increasing severity of wildfires in California and the challenges of climate change and forest management. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more awesome content. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update, and I'll see you in the next video.